It's a good time for young journalists. This profession is now more important than ever. In this context, 100 students from all over the world have been selected to participate in the journalistic summit Future News Worldwide that British Council has organized for its second consecutive year. As the oldest cultural relations organization in the world, the British Council has welcomed countries in this event from Ukraine, Ghana or Spain to Brazil, China, Turkey or Lebanon. In this way, representatives have broken cultural borders in order to share a same pursuit, based on their passion of journalism. From the 4th to the 6th of July, the delegates selected among 2,500 candidates had the opportunity to attend the conferences led by important figures in the journalistic world. From the beginning, those selected have been looking forward to meeting their expectations throughout the Congress.
And I hope they will get a lot of knowledge from here, and I will see how the media is developing and what opportunities we might have in the future and where it all goes, because in Ukraine we are not so perspective as in other European countries, so I want to get some new experience to share it there in my home country.
And I would like to my expectation for the conference, I want to meet people and very creative minds from all over the world, and I can talk to them, know about different cultures and know about the different issues around the world.
The first conference day was opened by Catherine Gicheru, the first woman to hold top positions in the history of Kenyan print media.
You're not limited by anything. Now more than ever, as a woman journalist, this is your time. Take back what belongs to us. We are not asking. We're not demanding. We're actually doing it. So can we go out there and do that? And for you young men and young men, please remember, if we all hold up the world, 52% of us have to be part of that.
The CEO of Media Legal Defense Initiative, Lucy Freeman, has presented her task, based on giving support to journalists in terms of ethics, legal regulation and financial help.
So that means you have to think about how you can protect yourself from their attempts to restrict you from publishing. And that means that you have to think about your response should they be successful in trying to restrict you in saying what you're saying.
Regarding the second conference day, the meeting was marked by notably inspiring people. One of them was Carrie Gracie, who resigned as BBC's China editor in protest over the gender pay gap.
I generally think if people write critically, for example, about me, as long as I know they've done it from a perspective where they've attempted to understand what I'm on about, and then they've told the story from a particular framing or point of view. It's not necessarily mine, but it's different, but it's honest and candid and attempts seriousness. Then I have a problem with them criticising me. So I think you can be critical and respectful at the same time. Those things are not, mutually conflicted.
Her unconformity encourages women in their fight for equality. Have a compass, have a map, and call it as you see it, were some of the tips that she gave to the students. Donald Martin, the editor-in-chief at NewsQuest Scotland, showed to the spectators through examples the ethical limits that should be taken into account at the time of publishing critical images as not to fall into sensationalism. The exchange of perspectives was a learning exercise to understand issues that had never crossed some participants' minds. Meanwhile, the attendants have shared their impressions about the conferences. Mayat Mo, one of the representatives from Bangladesh, assessed Donald Martin conference.
This last session that we had was very, very important because most of the time we often ignore the power the images we upload, the power the images we publish and use have, because this goes on to showing how much importance we associate with those pictures, but also at the same time being respectful towards communities, towards victims, towards everyone else who is associated with those pictures, and to respect their privacy is one of the core values that journalism should possess.
The next speaker was David Pratt. He's a journalist, photographer, broadcaster, and editor with 30 years experience of covering foreign affairs. He showed the harshness of some of the images taken throughout his professional career, and he explained why students as future journalists shouldn't be neutral. He said, "You can't take a position, you can't be a journalist if you don't see the fundamental injustices."
People will always need this material, this glimpse into these places, these situations, into other people's lives. That is what more than anything else matters, and I would like to think that you, as a new generation of reporters and writers and photographers and whatever, will actually pick up on that challenge itself.
Once the delegates really realized how enriching the event was, Mila Cherneva, a Bulgarian delegate, encourages journalism students to subscribe in this event.
I recommend this experience because you get to know a lot about different cultures firsthand. You meet a lot of people who might help you in the beginning in your career, and you also learn firsthand about the tools needed to be a great journalist.
The days of the event weren't enough. So many people, so many stories to tell. They tried to make the most of the time. One of the occasions for that was the dinner at the magnificent building of the whole tower. It was a really pleasant evening full of deep conversations that was culminated by the speech of Alexandra Galloni, the Reuters global news editor. Independently from the event, delegates have taken advantage of the chance to exchange interesting issues like the journalistic situation in their home countries.
The journalistic situation right now, it's really changing. We have a problem there that is basically there is no objectiveness or there is no partiality. There is a lot of militant journalism there. So we just had a president, he was a left-handed president, then he left. And the media in general, they were really, really happy. I hope to give something back when I go back to kind of help improve the situation there.
One thing that is hindering our progress has to do with finances and a real access to information. There has been a talk about the right to information in our country, and there was a bill that was supposed to be passed by Parliament. To date, it hasn't been passed, and we're hoping that it gets passed so that other journalists like myself will be able to access information quite freely.
All this in a Scottish environment, especially in the first city declared World Heritage of Literature, Edinburgh. Writers like Walter Scott and Arthur Conan Doyle have wandered its streets, and its architectural style served J.K. Rowling as inspiration for her famous saga Harry Potter. Scotland has always been a country at the forefront of critical thinking, with characters that have marked history such as the philosopher David Hume or the father of modern economy, Adam Smith. Also, it has stood out in terms of education. Sophia Jackley, the first woman in Europe to study medicine, lived there. In addition, the University of Edinburgh is among the best in the world, having been home to 20 Nobel Prizes. Inventions such as the steam engine, Anastasia, the technique of cloning with the famous dolly ship, or the mechanism of bicycle have illustrated the country of Celtic music and the Gaelic language. The new elite of journalism is willing to guide the profession to the right way with the objectives of leading it to a fairer world, giving voice to those that haven't got it, and training society in its fight for their rights and freedoms. Time's up in many aspects. It's the time to leave behind the claim of "we are the future." Now, this generational sample from 50 different countries have become the present.